It had been 2 weeks since Naruto saw his Kasan. It had been so long that he was now starting to think it was a dream, something he made up to get away from the darkness of this room. But as he was checking the ground around him on the floor, ready to sleep, he felt someone by the door. "Kasan," he said, barely above a whisper, as she came into view with a small light by her smile. Naruto didn't even know he moved till he crashed into her legs, hugging them tightly. "Kasan, I thought you were gone. I thought you were a dream," he said, trying his best not to cry and failing. Naruto felt himself get lifted and then held in her arm. The other was holding a small bag that he could barely see through tears. His Kasan put it down as her other hand started patting and rubbing small circles on his back and pushed him into her shoulder. As Naruto rested his head on Kakashi's shoulder, the shinobi was a bit mad at himself for not being able to return earlier. He could only think of what Naruto would have thought if he never showed up again, but he didn't have much of a choice in the matter. Within a day of seeing Naruto, still injured, Danzo had simply given him and the others soldier pills before sending them out again and again and again. Before, he would have had no problem with it because he wanted to die, but now, with someone relying on and hoping for him to come back, he wasn't so sure of his decision anymore. He held Naruto tighter as he muttered reassurances in his ear. He made sure to shut the door behind him and walked towards the wall. The guards hadn't made it easy for him too, but they were easy enough to get past, and if they got in the way, he could always just kill them. But that would begin a slippery slope. "Sorry I took so long, Naru-kun," he said, as he settled down with Naruto still holding him tightly, almost as if he was afraid he would disappear again. "It's fine. You still came back," Naruto said between sobs as Kakashi took down his mask again. "They kept me so busy. But you know what?" Kakashi asked in a cheery tone he had seen some mothers use when he was on his undercover missions. "What?" Naruto asked, the cries dying down with only slight hiccups left. "I never stopped thinking about you," he said with a smile, which only made Naruto hug him tighter and let out some more cries. It took a while for Naruto to calm down, even with the whispered reassurances Kakashi gave him. But when he did, and managed to pry the boy from him so that he could get a good look, he didn't like what he saw. There now were some small bruises on his arms different to the ones from before. "Who did this to you?" Kakashi asked with a slight edge to his voice. "It was some chunin from the village. I asked them how I could become a shinobi, because I want to protect you, Kasan." Kakashi could already guess and see that they hadn't taken that too well. He would find them and deal with them later. "You really want to become a shinobi?" Kakashi asked, because all it had done was brought him nothing but pain, and Naruto could just fade into the crowd. But even he knew that would be nothing but a dream. Naruto pulled away from his Kasan and just nodded at her. She was a shinobi, so he wanted to be one just like her. "Then don't worry about those dummies, I'll teach you," Kakashi said, ruffling Naruto's hair, which brought a laugh out of the boy. "Really, Kasan? You'll teach me? I don't know a lot of things," Naruto said, looking down a bit. Kakashi had managed to ask some of the people questions about Naruto subtly, and what he had seen shocked him. "Don't worry about it. I'll teach you everything." Naruto just grinned happily. Thank you, he screamed excitedly, before quickly muffling his mouth and staring at his Kasan with a panicked look. His Kasan looked at him and then laughed a bit before pinching his cheek. "Don't worry. I did a jutsu so that no one outside this room could hear us." Naruto slowly took his hands off his mouth, amazed. "Wow, Kasan, you can do that. Can you teach me?" "Please," Naruto asked excitedly. Kakashi debated it with himself. "Sure I can. I will even bring some scrolls so that you can practice." At that, Naruto suddenly looked down again. "Naru-kun, what is it?" Kakashi asked worriedly. I can't read. The lady said demons shouldn't read," Naruto asked once again, close to tears, and Kakashi rushed to stop it. "Don't worry about it. I can teach you that too." Naruto smiled happily at his Kasan, and then a growl came from his stomach which left him embarrassed. "Are you hungry, Naru-kun?" his Kasan asked as she stroked his cheek. He leaned more into the touch and nodded. Kakashi's other hand went rifling into the bag he had managed to gather some items in before he headed back. When Kasan was stroking his cheek and ruffling his hair, Naruto had noticed the bruises on her arms more closely. She was fighting again. Those ones are new, he thought. Kakashi turned back to Naruto with some instant ramen and fruit in his hand. He saw Naruto just staring at him low and followed his sight. Oh, the bruises. Not wanting to dampen the mood, he lightly tapped Naruto's head with the cup of instant ramen, immediately bringing the kid's attention to him. "Don't worry about it, Naru-kun. Now watch closely," he said, and was grateful when whatever the boy was about to say died in his throat as he looked to what he was doing. Naruto was settled on his Kasan's lap as he watched her with one of those cups. "Now watch this." Kakashi opened the cup, and a small hand sign later water poured from one of his fingers, and he could hear the shock and awe coming from Naruto at this simple action. He was making sure to do it slowly, because he could see that Naruto was paying very close attention and wanted to help him understand it better. "Now, you pour enough water to reach this line that says max," he said to Naruto, who didn't look like he was quite following but nodded enthusiastically. After the water was full, he added one finger and did a simple finger movement, and it began to heat, evident from the steam that started coming from it, which only shocked Naruto more. "You can make hot water easily, but that takes some practice. This is an easier way to learn." Naruto nodded as he watched and listened closely. Kasan was already teaching him stuff. "Close it and leave it for a while," Kakashi said as he set it aside. Now came the part he had been dreading, but he needed to get it done now. Naruto's clothes were ragged and filled with a series of patchwork. "When was the last time you took a bath?" he asked in a joking manner, not wanting Naruto to feel as if he was on the spot. "Oh, Well, the lady said she didn't want to waste water, so it was last week. At least no one bothered me outside this time." "Do I smell?" he asked nervously, trying to somewhat get away weakly. "No, you're fine." But Kakashi knew he wasn't. He didn't want to get this place dirty. "Okay, we can deal with that later. Have you ever snuck out before, Naru-kun?" Naruto hesitated for a moment, staring at Kakashi straight in the eye, and then gave a slow nod. "I try to get here quickly, otherwise the lady said I have to sleep outside." He said it like it was the most normal thing in the world, and Kakashi had to once again take a deep breath. He would be doing a lot of reading to calm himself down. It looked like they would be sneaking out today. "Do you want to try sneaking out with me?" he asked a bit hopefully. After all, the boy could still say no. But Naruto vigorously shook his head, eliciting a laugh from Kakashi. "Okay, eat this, and then we can go." It was still day outside, after all. Kakashi could guess it was about the lady not letting him in if he came late. It probably wasn't accurate. "Okay, now eat up," Kakashi said, as he grabbed the cup noodles and gave them and a chopstick to Naruto. It didn't take long for Kakashi to see that the boy didn't really know how to use them. Naruto was looking at him nervously before trying to do it again till he took the chopstick from the boy. Naruto pouted before Kakashi stirred the noodles and took them out to his mouth. The boy looked at the outstretched food nervously and then back at Kakashi before calmly eating the food. Naruto ate in relative silence with his Kasan feeding him, and just as quickly as it began, he was finished. But with another small growl from his stomach, Kakashi knew he had to get something more filling. "Let's go," Kakashi said, as he rose with Naruto still in his arms, but before he left, he did quick hand signs. The big bag with supplies seemingly disappeared. Kakashi silently opened the door. Doing a quick check around the outside, he quickly pulled up his face mask and then pulled down his dog mask, all while Naruto just watched with a sense of amazement. Once he made sure it was clear, he did another hand sign, and another Kakashi appeared next to him, shocking Naruto, who just pointed at his other Kasan wordlessly, mouth agape. "It's a small trick I learned. I will teach it to you sometime." With that, Kakashi nodded at the shadow clone as it did a few hand signs. With a puff of smoke disappeared and stood another Naruto. "Wow, that's so cool, Kasan." Naruto said happily, as he watched the other Naruto walk away and sit on his normal spot. I'm a bit tired, but I think it should be fine until tomorrow. What do you usually do? Naruto had to be shaken to pay attention to his Kasan again, as he had continued to stare in amazement. The lady usually makes me leave before the sun comes up so I don't bother the other kids. She said it was better for other kids to be adopted if I'm not here, he said the last part with a bit of a frown. Kakashi lightly pinched his cheek. Well, she's stupid, so today and tomorrow you can stay with me. Naruto just nodded as Kakashi then proceeded to sneak his way out of the building in a way he could vaguely remember, and before he knew it, they were outside walking. The sun was still up and would set in an hour or 3, but Kakashi decided not to push his luck as he quickly threw a cloak over Naruto's form and tied him to his back before hopping onto the roofs headed for his house. Naruto could only watch in amazement as they whizzed by roofs at a very fast speed. He doubted he would have been able to hold on if Kasan hadn't tied him to her back. He could see all the people so far down going about their day. He was glad Kasan had tied her hair, even if some of it still hit him in the face. But he didn't mind. But as he stared at his Kasan's back, he noticed more bruises behind her neck, and he didn't want to think of how she got those. He found himself reaching out for it regardless, and it wasn't until she flinched that he pulled back and started apologizing profusely. Sorry, Kasan. It's okay, Naruto, she said calmly. They settled into silence as they continued to rush by the villagers, till Naruto broke it. Can you start teaching me to be like you? He asked nervously. Kakashi was silent for a while, and Naruto was about to retract his question till he heard her release a soft sign. I can teach you, Naru-kun. I will try to take some time off so I can spend it with you. Naruto couldn't express his glee and simply hugged his Kasan tightly. Kakashi let out a small smile on his face before he focused back on jumping. They arrived at a house on the outskirts of Konoha, and he could only watch the house in awe. Is this your house, Kasan? Naruto asked with a smile on his face as Kakashi took him off his back and held him in his arms as they walked towards the house. Naruto couldn't see how Kakashi had to steal his face as he approached the house. First thing is first, we need to get you a bath and some new clothes. Then a lot of food, Kakashi said as they entered the house. Immediately, Kakashi went to the bathroom and immediately began to clean Naruto. Kakashi could see how surprised Naruto had been when he was being cleaned with warm water and soap. He had suppressed the flicker of anger at Naruto asking him if he was allowed to enjoy this. After the bath, Kakashi had given Naruto some of his old clothes that were far too large for the boy because of how tall he used to be, but they would work for now. They went to the kitchen where Kakashi made the most food he had ever made in this house and set it out. Naruto kept on asking if he was allowed to eat this, and Kakashi just nodded at him to eat. Naruto liked seeing his Kasan without the mask and face cover on. He could see how she felt, and he liked seeing her smile. Kakashi didn't know how someone so small could put away so much food, but he could guess it was because of all the energy needed to keep the Kyuubi in check, and probably they didn't feed him well. After Kakashi had finished eating, he set Naruto down as they watched TV, and before Kakashi knew it, the boy had fallen asleep. As Kakashi set him down in bed, and he sat down beginning to check over his shinobi tools, and he started thinking, why can't I just adopt him?